Hello, big people, small people, boys and girls all over the world. My name is TBWeez, and welcome back to Legacy of Kain Defiance. More accurately, welcome to Legacy of Kain Dark Prophecy. I'm going to be playing the Dark Prophecy demo that is now available for people to play. There's actually a lot in terms of bonus material. They've got the history of Nosgoth, arcane tomes like normal. There's actually a lot more in the arcane tomes than there used to be, and more arcane tomes to collect in general. That is definitely confirmed. There's a training room, which brings you back to that one training room area in the beginning of the game. There's also lost levels, which I'm going to do that in the same episode. Making of, music player, stuff like that. And then there's comics and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. But today I'm going to be focusing on the Dark Prophecy and a little bit of the lost levels and stuff. So let's get right into it then. Legacy of Kain, the Dark Prophecy, the cancelled sequel to Defiance, entered development under Ritual Entertainment in 2004, but its production was discontinued later the same year. Built on the same engine as Defiance, the Dark Prophecy returned Kain to the role of singular protagonist, and pursued a storyline heavily focused around the Hilden, the Demon Realm, and the fate of Janos Ultron. A number of locations were designed and developed prior to the game's cancellation. This demo showcases one such playable sequence, emerging in a grisly place laden with bloodied corpses and the evidence of dark rituals. Kain must traverse the mountain pass, battling a host of hostile forces in the process. It is believed that the unnamed area observed in the demo was to be explored in the game's opening stages. It serves as a transitional location, bridging more major landmarks, and offers a representative slice of the project's gameplay. Fascinating. Oh, that's an interesting use of the camera. So this is our new camera style, and this, I guess, is what Dark Prophecy was gonna be like. So it's essentially like a wider camera angle. Interesting. Anyways, let's get into it. Hi, how's it going? Or vampire hunters. Alright. Yeah. I know that. Can I switch reverse? I can. Alright. The power of time. You're not much of a problem when I've got the time reaver. Hi over there, how's it going? Y'all chilling? You're new. Yeah, I know how to do the Reaver spell at this point. I get it. Hey up there, come on down. Hello. Oh, can I not drink your blood? You are basically a corpse, so I guess there wouldn't be a point. I cannot seem to move that. Whoa. I guess now would probably be a good time to test out some skins. Oh. Holy crap. When did I get when did I get Soul Reaver 1 Kain? I'm gonna play as PS1 Kain for a bit. That's interesting. Wonder how much is actually in here. Oh, Seraphim, huh? So what point in time does this actually occur? I know supposedly it's a sequel and everything, but does it continue in the same timeline or something? Like, are we in the same time that Kain left? Was it in the Blood Omen 1 era or right after? Or maybe there's some sort of rift in time. Or maybe they just used whatever players for the demo because they were just kind of messing with ideas. Oh, hello. Okay. Hi. Listen. What? You're just spawning out of thin air. Alright. Alright. Listen. Hello? Oh. Okay. Yeah. Spellcasters got enhanced abilities and whatnot. Oh.
Die, vampire!
You die. Get out of here. Whoa. Alright. More blood for Kain. Alright. What's that over there? That's big and spooky. I'm assuming I need to fight some guys until I can get through that. That seems like that might electrocute me or something. Oh! Okay. Man down. Okay. There's something I'm missing. Ah. See you later? I guess not. So maybe I do need to keep fighting you guys? Well, are we done? Thanks for playing. Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, that's that then. Short and sweet. Okay. Now we're going to get into the lost levels now. It was very interesting being able to see the Dark Prophecy and everything. The legacy of Kain Defiance tells a tale steeped in the wreckage of history, the long-forgotten ruins of Nosgoth's ancient civilizations, perpetually serve to frame Kain and Raziel's intrepid journeys of discovery. Yet unlike immortal vampires, the Defiance team could not afford to spend the whole of eternity perfecting their craft, and unlike the pristine, purifying flames in which the legendary Reaver Blade was forged, the real-world crucible of game development makes a few allowances for perfection. Production realities ensure that the wanderings of imagination are tempered in the making and wilder ambitions are curtailed. The finished article you now experience is the fruit of these inevitable cuts. Ideated upon countless times, streamlined, simplified, ruthlessly but necessarily hammered into its final form. Yet not all that is lost is beyond all salvation. Concepts left unpursued, assets left unutilized, can still be resurrected to see a new life. Here, those of us behind Defiance Remastered present to you a selection of less fully forged adventures, half-sculpted pieces salvaged from the cutting room floor, more remnants of the past for Kain and Raziel to discover alongside you. These curated lost levels represent a love letter to the Legacy of Kain community, the Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered team. That's very nice. Very much appreciated in every way. I'm gonna change my skin real quick. Can I switch between Kain and Raziel by chance? Doesn't look like I can. Let's check out this one. Interesting. Yeah. I know. Just like a statue chamber room of some sort. Fascinating. Okay. What else you got to offer? Ooh. This apocalyptic scene represents the immediate aftermath of Kain's fateful decision to refuse to sacrifice his own life and restore the pillars, thus condemning the land of Nosgoth to millennia of ruin and decay. The pillars lie in a myriad of scattered shards, their supernatural cores exposed. The clearing stands sundered beneath an ashen sky, marred by the infernal energy blast unleashed with the unraveling of the binding. This area provided the staging for a scene cut from the story script in the earliest redrafting stage. After escaping the demon realm, Kain would emerge in the material realm within walking distance of the clearing, where he would witness his younger self and Ariel from afar, debating the ethics of his choice. While the young Kain delivered his justifications, uncannily reminiscent of Raziel's rhetoric against Ariel and Soul Reaver 2, the despondent and desperate specter would flail at him, willing his death, but to no avail as he departed. This pillar's layout differs somewhat from those featured in the final game, containing multiple flooded vistas, which impede further exploration. No connectors to adjacent areas exist, prompting Kain to use Batflight to proceed to the story's concluding sequences at the Vampire Citadel. Oh, that's kind of cool. Well, I guess it kind of only makes sense. So we go with Scourge of the Circle. Yes. It's very fitting. What if there's anything else to find here? Oh! That's water. Whoops. Whoopsie doodles. Didn't realize there was water over there. Whoa. Oh. Oh, that's kind of cool. Huh. Okay. Well, that's that. Oh, Raziel. First appearing in Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, the Sanctuary of the Clans is the seat of Kain's empire. A grand monument built to encompass the broken pillars of the centuries beyond Legacy of Kain Defiance. Though briefly recalled in archive footage during Defiance's introduction cinematic, the Sanctuary was originally set to appear as a playable location as well. Here we represent the fruits of original Defiance environment artist Isabelle LeMay's efforts to reconstruct the Sanctuary on newer hardware. Chronologically positioned some 2,000 years after the pillar's collapse, the Soul Reaver era and the Sanctuary it housed acted as the set piece for what was originally the final chapter of Defiance. This epilogue was culled so early in production that no dialogue was ever scripted to support it. This version of the Sanctuary is not an exact replica of the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver original, featuring many more columns and chairs at the periphery of the pillars. It shares a number of architectural commonalities with the Water Forge, which in turn were ultimately transferred to the Vampire Citadel in the final game. Hi. Kain over there. Hey Kain, how's it going? Give you your Soul Reaver 1 skin. Alright. Oh, we're actually fighting. Okay. Oh, that's kind of... Okay, you want to fight again, Kain? Let's go then. Come on. Alright, listen. Why are you so difficult all of a sudden? Alright. I have got him. I've defeated Kain. This is very interesting. Very interesting reintroduction to the Sanctuary of the Clans. Early Stronghold. In early production on Defiance, Seraphine Stronghold adhered to a design much more akin to its Soul Reaver 2 incarnation. This prior iteration of the Stronghold provides a ready touchpoint with Soul Reaver 2 not only in terms of its floor plan, but in its sense of scale. It features the first versions of several common landmarks carried over into the final level, such as the bridge area and the Elder God caverns, all much grander in size than the final, more compact vision of Defiance would support. This take on the Stronghold was constructed to accommodate not only Kain's first and third chapters, but also Raziel's, directly following on from the end of that game in the chapter house room. Some versions of the scenario featured a return to the ruined stronghold in the near future era previously explored in Soul Reaver 2, which would involve Kain infiltrating its confines to recover the head of Forador. Fascinating. I gotta also change my skin. Do I go with Soul Reaver 1 0? Maybe I'll go with the shifter. Huh. This is actually really cool, though. I wish there was kind of a mixture. I mean, I know that Defiance has some areas that are somewhat looking much like the Soul Reaver 2 stronghold, but not a whole lot. Okay. What is this room? Interesting. What is all this supposed to be? Huh. What in the world? That's like a big old bell tower or something. And now I'm on another side of it? Alright, any more Seraphim soldiers to fight? Hello? Ooh, the courtyard area. Oh, this is interesting. What in the world? Very strange animation there. What's up here? Looks like I do not lose health. Okay. Down you go. See the inspiration from Soul Reaver 2, but also a lot of very weird changes. And so I definitely understand why some of this was changed. Okay, well this definitely shows up in Defiance. We know that for sure.
Die, vampire!
Down you go. Oh no, they're all dead. Oh, I think that's the end of our journey, so... Oh? Maybe it's not the end of our journey. What in the world? Early Underworld. This alternative take on the Underworld area precedes the overarching redesign, which also overhauled the Seraphan stronghold. Initially, Raziel's story began in the stronghold like Kain's, and the Underworld was first conceived as a shorter climax to the beginning of his story, as opposed to its own full-fledged game region and tutorial. Falling into the pool room of the stronghold into the shadowy cavern, Raziel would interact with the wrathful Elder God before fleeing through a tunnel formed by the intertwined mass of its writhing limbs. This long passage facilitated his journey to the cemetery, similar to his sharing some commonalities with the final version of the Underworld, such as the central platform. The Underworld here nevertheless adheres to a much darker vision than its counterpart, more explicitly emphasizing the Lovecraftian cosmic horror stylings of the Elder God in his domain. Fascinating, okay. Be the Angel of Death here. Fascinating. Okay. Oh, it's gonna be a bit of a labyrinth, I guess. Oh, never mind. Can't go very far. The Early Forge. The purpose and provenance of this mysterious test room is unknown, save that it was another of those created by Defiance environment artist Isabelle LeMay. Its textures are unique, largely dissimilar to any observed either in the retail version of Defiance or in previous Legacy of Kain games. The hall's most prominent feature is the large sundial occupying the lower tier, which is derived from the Dark Forge of Soul River 2. In recognition of this minimal clue, the room has been tentatively dubbed the Early Forge by the Defiance Remastered team. Fascinating. Fascinating area here. These open or anything? Doesn't seem like they do. Big sundial? Maybe not. Huh. Well, okay then. After the decision was taken to include all 7 Reaver Forges in Defiance, but before the redesign, which resulted in their consolidation into similar chambers at the Vampire Citadel, the team experimented with the direct adaptation of the Forge assets from Soul River 2. This incomplete take on the Air Forge is effectively a remix of its predecessor, retaining the architectural and textural stylings of its Soul River 2 counterpart, but virtually nothing of its layout. Unlike the Water Forge, no design documentation for this area is known to have been preserved, if any was created. The forge consists of a short series of corridors which branch out into 2 parts, one leading to an exterior room and the other to a smaller scale version of the giant snake sculpture in the previous game, surrounded by 3 godheads. The test area is clearly unfinished, leading to a black void which serves as a dead end, and it is unclear whether Raziel would have forged the Reaver. Only the Dark Forge is known to have received similar adaptation. Alright, well, this is very different from the original Air Forge. So I wasn't, I didn't realize that they would include things from other games. They're including like Soul Reaver 2 stuff as well. But I guess it makes sense because it's like in the Soul Reaver 1 plus the Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered, they didn't really have a whole lot Soul Reaver 2 content that was hidden. Just Soul Reaver 1 stuff, really. Whoa. I do appreciate that these genuinely do feel more like actual bonus levels and stuff because you get to fight all these enemies and stuff. Almost. I do wish there was kind of a challenge mode. This would be like the perfect opportunity to add something like that. Die. You know what's interesting? I feel like there was another turning point, wasn't there? There's the big snake. Give me your souls. That just goes down. I can't go down there. Would this have been where one would forge the Reaver? Kinda seems that way. Charge this bad boy up. Hey, statues. Get dead. Oh, that's a cool detail. When I eat souls, my eyes turn red and everything. It's pretty cool. Another of the Reaver Forges which originally appeared in Soul Reaver 2, this version of the Dark Forge follows the same cues as the early Air Forge by remixing components of its previous incarnation. A somewhat more open and vertical layout than its counterpart, it shares little to no commonality with the original Dark Forge in its arrangement, but its set of textures is entirely derivative of that version, consisting of three major partitions. The area contains a number of non-functional puzzle setups, which hint at some of the challenges the level designers had planned. This forge, like the others, is clearly incomplete and probably did not advance much further into development before being scrapped in favor of the more boilerplate forge designs of the final game. Interesting. Out of my way. What in the world? I mean, I can definitely see the inspiration from the original Dark Forge, but it is weird because it's almost like a maze. Why did they go back with some of the Reavers? Because obviously in Soul Reaver 2, Raziel had already acquired Dark, Light, Air, and Fire. Why did they feel the need to have him go at it again? I could understand needing to add more for the sake of gameplay, but story-wise it doesn't make a lot of sense. Unless that was what was supposed to be implied when... Maybe it was supposed to be implied that when Soul Reaver... When the Soul Reaver tried to devour Raziel at the end of Soul Reaver 2, perhaps all his elemental abilities were taken at the same time. Or maybe even that each of the Reavers in Defiance were meant to act as full-time Reavers rather than having to use the basins like you did in Soul Reaver 2. Come on, let's go. Listen. So it also does seem like that's what was going on with Defiance. They were trying to reuse textures and stuff from Soul Reaver 2, and then that immediately that seemed to get scrapped pretty early, it would seem. Hello, statue. I'm not gonna make that, of course. Alright, I think that's all that can be found here. Water Forge. One of the earliest locations to be designed for Defiance and the largest original area to be entirely cut, this incarnation of the Water Forge was intended to maintain continuity with the Reaver Forges of Soul Reaver 2. When this version of the Forge was conceived, only the Earth and Spirit Forges were also slated for inclusion, with the game scenario omitting the 4 forges Raziel had already solved in Soul Reaver 2. Raziel would visit this forge after exiting the cemetery and would proceed to the pillars after imbuing the Reaver. I guess I kinda got my answer there. This large complex consists of 3 major sections: the approach to the area, the forge exterior, and the interior. Raziel was required to manipulate water channels using the Reavers he had already obtained in order to progress to the next level. Apparently no more than the first floor of the interior was designed and built before production ceased on the area, and the forges underwent alterations as a whole. In its final iteration, the game incorporated all 7 Reaver forges at the Vampire Citadel, with the Water Forge being accessed via a teleporter in Vordor's mansion. Virtually no evidence of the original Water Forge remained in the game. Fascinating. That's pretty cool. So in reality, it was just going to be water and earth, but then they probably were adding on to it to you know, make it just add more into the game itself, which makes sense. Okay, I probably don't need to go down there. It looks like I'll probably get stuck down there if I try to do that. It's very interesting. It's like a mountain desert area, and even the background isn't completed. It's all just white over here, and then there's some mountains. It's very interesting seeing the process of certain games and everything. What's that? I don't know what that is. A lantern. Hi. Bunch of Hilden over here. Into the water. Okay, that's enough of that. I don't see anything of use up here. Whoa, how'd I end up over here? It's a big pool of water. Can I even go this way? I can. What in the world? Can I freeze that? Do I have that ability? Freeze it. Freeze it. I can't freeze it. Can't freeze it. Hey guys, how's it going? Don't mind me. Just looking around. Get away from me. Well, die. Okay. Can't seem to break that. Well, okay then. Yeah, probably not. Well, I think this was the last one. So, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been really cool having to getting to come back and experience all of this with you guys. Defiance has been just an absolute masterpiece to return to. And just seeing like the amount of effort that the dev team has gone through and everything, it's very nice to see all of that. Like, and I just really appreciate all the hard work and effort that the team has gone through, because there's clearly much love for the series, and I'm very much so excited to be able to see what else they have in store for the Legacy of Kain. We have Ascendance to look forward to, so get ready for that. For now though, like, it just seems like for now this is kind of goodbye to Legacy of Kain for a bit, until Ascendance comes out, and then who knows what we get to see from there. I don't really know what this training room has to offer, unless it's just running you through the tutorial of fighting again or something. And maybe that is all it is, but anyways, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching and everything. I would really love to have you guys' support and everything. It would be very much so appreciated. And just yeah, any support you guys can give me would be very much appreciated. So yeah, does this mean anything? I don't know. Oh, that's it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna mess around with bonus material, like the rest of it, on my own time, because the rest of it is just like deep lore and stories and stuff like that, and other bonus material. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm still gonna make videos until Ascendance comes out, and then we'll see what happens once Ascendance comes out, and after I beat that, and we'll just kind of see what happens from there. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been TB Weez. I'm out.